everybody. Welcome to Morning Cup Live. Today, we're going to be doing this morning's podcast live here. And the topic we're going to be talking about is really one of the precursors rather, to promotion. There's a lot of emphasis on people wanting to get ahead. Obviously, that's a lot of the work that I do working with people is putting them in positions of success. And to really be in that game for success, to get promoted, you've got to be in the retention game first. You've got to be in the game and not become a number that gets let go, not do something that puts you on the defensive. You don't want to have any unforced errors, to use a baseball term here. And there's a couple of things that people tend to forget when it comes to this. We're going to go over and cover some of these. And also, one of the things that I'm offering right now is a workshop through there. There'll be some information on that later if you're interested. There's only a handful of those left right now. But if you want to get promoted, you've got to be in the game. And I don't mean just working hard or being dependable. Those are table stakes. You've got to be doing that stuff to start with. I mean, how are you visible in the right ways? Um, and also with the right people and at the right times. Because here's the truth, a lot of high performers learn way too late. You do not get promoted at performance review time. You get promoted before that. You get promoted in the months where decisions are being shaped, budgets are being determined, customers are being gained or lost. You get promoted on projects that put your name in the right rooms. You get promoted when you are top of mind and opportunity shows up. So the first rule is retention comes before promotion. Let's start simple. To get promoted, you have to still be there. You have to be retained. You have to be trusted. And you have to be seen as someone the organization wants to keep and invest in. So if you're thinking, I'll worry about the promotion later, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage to start with. Also, there's a lot to be said for when you are someone that wants to be retained, that they want to invest in, because one of the reasons is they're concerned about you going to a competitor potentially. And it's not completely unlike high school or college in that respect. People want to date the person that other people want to date because there's obviously something attractive to them. Similar thing happens, in the talent field, in life, and in business. Um, but you can't wait to do something with promotions later when it gets to be evaluation time, when you find out if you got promoted, if you got a raise, because it's set at that point. Promotion's not a switch that you flip. It's a posture. It's a mode. The mistake most people make, they think it's like a seasonal event. It's like the Super Bowl comes up. Okay, let's get ready for a Super Bowl. Where those teams are preparing all year long. They go heads down most of the year. They're doing solid work. Then performance time rolls around and suddenly they turn on their promotion mode and their promotion pitch. If we go back to that athletic experience, or let's even talk about the Olympics. Those just finished over in Milan, the Winter Olympics. These athletes have been preparing for years. And in their field and what they do, promotion is getting a medal, ideally the gold. And so they're doing that preparation. They're laying that groundwork. Whether it is on a team situation, like with the Olympic hockey team who just won gold, go Team USA. Um, that preparation's been years in the making because they've got to get selected to the team. And it's not something that just happens on when the organizers of the team say, okay, we got to put a team together. Who's there? They've been thinking about this. They've been scouting. They've been talking. They've been watching. Um, so this is a pretty good analogy to a much more effective way to think about how to approach promotion and getting advanced. If you wait till that time when, you got to update your resume or whatever else, you got to update your information, you got to fill out your performance evaluation, you got to fill them out for other people potentially. You're updating your resume, you're listing your accomplishments. They're hoping that the manager connects all these dots, and it's too late at that point. If the manager's not connecting the dots at that point, you probably put yourself in a much less advantageous position compared to other people who may be connecting those dots. And by that point, the story's already been written to a large extent. Performance evaluation time, decision makers are not asking who should we promote. They're asking who have we already been watching? Who have we already been talking about? Who is at their top of mind? That's why this phrase comes back repeatedly in the work that I do, in the media and the videos I do. Who's already operating at that next level? Who's top of mind? So if you wait until performance evaluation time, it's not late, it's too late. Why always being in promotion mode matters is because a lot of people miss that promotions do not always happen on schedule. Opportunities can come up. Sometimes somebody leaves. There's a new project that's launched, a new customer that's gained, a team that gets stood up and organized or reorganized. A leader says, we need this person with this talent now. And when these opportunities show up out of cycle, you're either in position or you're scrambling and hoping, which means you're probably not going to get selected. If you're not already in promotion mode, when that surprise opportunity appears, you're at a disadvantage. You're basically throwing away the advantage you could have had for that surprise that a lot of other people might not be ready for. Now, promotion mode does not mean being fake. It does mean self-promoting nonstop in a non-obnoxious way. Now, that's somewhat subjective. What does that mean as far as being non-obnoxious? Being genuine, being authentic, connecting with people in meaningful ways. Means being intentional about three things. Being top of mind, building your brand and your visibility, and creating proof that decision makers can act on. That when your name comes up in a calibration meeting or some other meeting to decide who's going to do what, that person goes, well, you know what, this person did this because this, were successful projects. They made X number of dollars. They gained us this many clients, stuff like that. And it was because of the work that this person did. So let's make that practical. Being top of mind means you're regularly doing work that matters and helping the right people see it. You can do awesome, amazing things, but if the right people don't see it, if they don't know about it, it's going to fall into like this black hole of where, you did what you were supposed to do. Or we don't know what you really do. Someone else takes the credit for it, something like that. So this means you're working with your boss and other decision makers in a way that is easy for them to understand, easy for them to repeat, and easy for them to advocate for on your behalf. Because if your boss cannot clearly explain your value in 10 seconds, you're not getting promoted. You have coworkers. You might like them. You might even be friends with them, though be very cautious about that. Because in a promotion system, the truth is your coworkers are at best friendly rivals. Not enemies necessarily, not bad people always or usually, but you are still competing for the same opportunities and raises and job slots. So you need to outcompete them while still being someone people want to work with. And that's a balance. You have to collaborate to win together. You have to position yourself to be the obvious choice for an opportunity at the same time. Now, if you're wondering what to do, here's a simple checklist. It's a couple things you can ask yourself. Are you contributing to projects that leaders care about? If you're doing some work that nobody cares about, that's going to hurt. Are you solving problems that decision makers actually feel? Are you solving a pain? Are you helping them feel, some kind of success? Are you communicating your wins in a way that is clear and repeatable? Now, when I say repeatable in this context, what I mean is that they can repeat what you're saying to them. So let's say, you're a specialist in whatever. It doesn't have to be anything technology or engineering or science related, just whatever your specialty is. And you share that with your boss or with decision makers who may or may not have grown up in your industry. Can they repeat it? Can they understand what you're sharing? And can they share that with other people on your behalf? Do the right people know what you are working on before it's finished so that they can see progress, that you're impacting it along the way? Also, can your boss point to your impact without doing extra research? And this is where we get into the whole topic of how easy can you make things for decision makers. People tend to take the path of least resistance. It's just a human thing to do. And if they are able to confidently repeat and advocate on a person they perceive as a high performer versus trying to stretch and make someone else seem good, they're going to go with the person that is a high performer and they understand why and they can explain it. Now, if the answer is not really, you don't have a performance problem. And this is what happens with an awful lot of people, an awful lot of veterans, an awful lot of people in technology fields. They're very good at what they do, but they have a visibility problem. And this is why I talk about building visibility on purpose. See, promotions, they do not go to the person always who deserved it the most. They go to the person who is the clearest, safest, most obvious decision when it's time. A decision maker wants to put someone into a slot that they're going to have confidence in, that's going to do a good job. It's not going to embarrass them, blow back on them, damage their reputation. And this is exactly what we build in the promotion visibility session. The goal, it's simple. It's to clarify what you do, what you know, and be able to share this information with people. And here's a website where you can find out more information about it. You go to my website, or Rank to Raise is my learning website online. This is where you go to sign up for the session. And we're going to work on mapping the decision makers who matter to you and your work, and also be able to share that information to translate your work into outcomes that they value, that they care about, that they have some benefit in. Now, we also look at building a plan that keeps you on top of mind year round. So when promotion time shows up, you're not introducing yourself. Someone's like, oh, well, I've never heard from this person. They've been here for a year, and here they are. This is all really important to have this visibility, because people can be great at what they do, but if people don't know about it, it doesn't matter. So, if you want to get promoted, you want to be in the game. It's not just about working hard. It's about being positioned. It's about being visible. It's about being top of mind. It's about being around, being retained, being in the game. And most importantly, it's about being top of mind. Because when the opportunity shows up, the person who's been preparing is the person who's got the best likelihood of getting that promotion, of advancing in their career, and ultimately earning more money. So, we got to stay in the game. This is why retention is so important. Think of it as a kind of the precursor to promotion. You've got to be in the game. You've got to be on the team. To score the home run, score the goal in hockey, score the touchdown in football, whatever the sport is, you've got to be on the team first. And so these same skills that go into creating visibility for promotion, there also is what's going to contribute to retention for yourself, which, things can happen. Things may be going on behind the scenes you don't know about. And then all of a sudden, people have to be let go, or projects are lost, stuff like that. This is why you always want to be putting yourself in a visible position for retention and for promotion. So, keep those things in mind. If you're looking for more, it's a pretty, considering what the outcomes and the benefits are, take a look at that session, at that offering. If you got any questions, DM me or contact me through one of the other ways on social media. Hope everybody has a great Wednesday, and I will see you with a new Morning Cup on Thursday.